what happens here. I'm going to put that down like that. It says we're live now, so I believe it. So let's discuss what you just asked me, because I think it's a really good question that
You do? Okay.
I don't know the answer. Hold on. So does backup have a hyphen?
I would say that if you typed it into like a Word document or something, it would try to autocorrect it to a hyphen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just going to Google it right now.
I don't know that that's true. That's just what I think.
I'm going to Google the answer because
Clearly, spelling is not my strong suit.
well, we both use Grammarly. Okay. Oh, hold on. So you know what's super interesting? We're going to go here. So it says back up, but I wonder if that's the enunciation that they've done that, because that doesn't look like a full-on hyphen to support. But see down further, it's got backup with no hyphen. So guys, we need to know from you. This is very important to us.
So important.
It's so important. Is there a hyphen in backup?
So I just typed it into a Word doc and it didn't correct me.
It did not.
But I also typed it with no hyphen in it. It likes both of them.
All right. I think both might be
as
correct.
as like a compound word, which I don't think is right. And as two separate words, it's fine. I think Microsoft Word's broken on this word.
You think your what's broken?
Microsoft Word auto spelling.
Oh, sure.
I think backup breaks it.
Well, that's probably the case. Hello, Chris and Darrell and Terry and Michelle, and hello to everyone. Got the comments going, got my coffee. Actually, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to my mug creator today. Look how pretty that is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's Finn Wood Ceramics. I follow this guy. He's like in Oregon or something, and he sits there and he does his pottery on Facebook Live. I think it's fantastic. And I'll sit there, watch it mesmerized at like 2:30 in the morning when they have, and it's, Michelle says no hyphen. But anyways, it was interesting because my mom placed an order for me for this mug, and it's got a Yeti lid as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Anyways, yeah, super fancy. She placed an order for me for Christmas, and he didn't have any of the mugs that I wanted, the trees and the moon. And so he went on Facebook Live and he's like, this is for Pamela, who bought this for Tiffany. And I caught the Facebook Live as he was making my mug. I thought that was so fantastic.
Unless it was supposed to be a surprise for you.
No, I specifically requested this gift.
Okay.
My mom's like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, these items. I still do that. These items, please. So now you guys all know about me. Joe.
Yes.
Hello, welcome back.
Thank you.
We all missed you last week.
Yeah, I missed it as well.
Yep.
Where was I? What did I have?
Where were you? I think
Dad's Day.
Yeah, I think you had a donut situation happening with the kiddos. Did you have donuts, in fact?
That makes it sound really kind of strange, right? It was Dad's Day at my kid's school, so.
With donuts.
Yeah, I'm sure there were donuts there, yeah.
Did you have a donut?
I did not have a donut.
Did you have a punchki?
I did not have a punchki.
All right. Well,
did you?
No, I did not have a punchki, even though lemon is the best flavor. I did not. I was driving. So here's the deal about my brother.
You can't drive and eat a punchki?
Well, I could. My brother, who I was driving with, I had to drive him to Chicago this week on Fat Tuesday. He only eats one meal a day, and he's currently weight training. And so he's like, why do you eat that crap? So I had to wait for my burger and fry adventure until after I dropped him off at the airport, and we got shakes and all the things. But he's like one of those people that's a food shamer. So I didn't want to eat a punchki in front of him. My gosh, it would be a whole ride.
That is tough.
Yeah, it would be tough. So today we're going to talk about, let me do my little intro here. Welcome to the Backup Brokers Live, conversations and coffee, or coffee and conversations. That's how we do that, about your real estate career from the broker's perspective. I am Tiffany. You are Joe. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Today we're talking about hiring a coach. I've had a lot of conversations with people about hiring a coach lately. I think this is a really timely topic. I think it's a topic that's getting a lot more attention because there's a lot more online coaching options available, and real estate agents are getting bombarded with advertising and conferences when they go to the conferences and additional email marketing, all saying it's time for a coach. So let's let's discuss.
Well, it's a bit, yeah, I think we should, it's a good topic and it's important. And I think that coaching can be a really great thing. And I think one of the reasons why people are getting bombarded is because coaches have figured out that there's big money in real estate and a big need for it.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly it. We specifically digital marketing, Facebook advertising, and coaching are all targeting real estate agents because one commission check pays for their product. And really,
Correct.
you're going on the hope that you're getting that one increased sale because of whatever they're providing you, the Facebook advertising, the digital marketing campaigns, or the coaching, right?
Yeah.
And so they're preemptively talking to you so that you can designate that next commission check to paying for their entire year's worth of product. So you and I have both hired coaches. We have coached agents who have then hired additional coaches. And so let's just work through what this looks like to hire a coach, because I think there's a lot of people, Nadra, you're so sweet. There's a lot of people in this spot right now. So just right off the bat, how do you know when you're ready for a coach?
I think when you're ready for a coach a couple of different ways. One, when you feel yourself plateauing, when you get to a point where you feel a little bit, you don't, at an income level that you can't get past, or you're struggling with certain aspects, or you want to take your career to the next step or branch into something else. I think those are all kind of indicators of coaching. One thing that I don't think brand new agents should not come into this business and hire a coach right away.
No, I think and we'll talk a little bit more about this, there are other resources available for new agents that they need to explore first. I think this is for somebody exactly like you said. They have outgrown what they can currently do and they're looking to go to the next level. They plateaued for a long time and they need new systems, or they need a refresh or a reboot or whatever. Additionally, I think if somebody's set a different goal for themselves, one on a path that they haven't explored before. I've mentioned digital marketing several times because I nerd out about that topic. When I was ready to get into digital marketing, I hired a coach specifically in that realm so that I could go down that new path, because they've been down that path before. So if you're looking to explore something new that you haven't done before, such as for sale by owners or expireds or whatever, you can get a coach specific to that activity. And they'll teach you those really refined lessons of that, or just personal development, right? Exactly.
And one step I think that agents should take as they're exploring coaches, maybe go to a seminar, maybe go to if you're looking, like you said, and branching out into something else, let's use FSBOs, for example, maybe find a seminar that's $100 and go to a FSBO seminar and get a better feel for it, see if it's for you, and then take it to the next level.
Yeah. And that segues really nicely into my next question. Where in the world do you find these folks at? And you're right. A seminar is a really nice, easy entry level point to identify if you jive with that coach or not. If they're your style, if they have the talking points, if you're taking like pages of notes and you're like, this is amazing stuff. It's probably an indicator that this is a direction you should go into.
Yeah.
I also think other real estate professionals within your office, if they're a top producer, if they're doing something well, take them out to coffee and learn from them first before you commit to a long-term contract with a coach. If there's somebody doing something really well, see how much they're willing to idea share with you. I think that's really important to get a conversation going with people that are already around you to see what they're doing well and try to implement some of those things, again, before you take on a coach. Additionally, I think a lot of people are really looking for community more than they're looking for coaching. And so somebody to come alongside them for accountability or for commiserating with each other or idea sharing. And so if you don't currently have an agent mastermind in your office, create one.
Start one.
Yeah, get some people together that do something really well and create it and move forward.
It's a good point. I mean, agents sometimes, like you said, they're looking for accountability. And so agents pay thousands of dollars a year, sometimes $1,000 a month, to basically get a coach that says, okay, did you do your stuff?
Yeah.
And while there's value in having accountability, you probably can accomplish that in a smaller chunk of dollars through a mastermind group or finding a like-minded person.
Yep, absolutely. Also, see what's available at your brokerage. Have you explored all of the resources available at your brokerage? I know for us, we have a 16-week education series. We have the Fresh Start class, which is a 2-day intensive to just get going again with your business. We have the agent masterminds. And then a lot of people don't realize we have coaching as well. So we have these open office hours called Coach's Corner, but legitimately it's coaching. Like you just have to go there. You have to show up every week and get the coaching that's specific to you. So explore what's available at your brokerage first. And then what? What do you do? How did you find your coach?
I did some investigation. I saw this coach speak a couple of different times. I tried to find somebody I tried to identify what it was I wanted to get better at. And then I tried to find a coach that kind of worked in that space a little bit, because there's a lot of different coaches specialize in different areas of real estate or business. And so at the time, what I was trying to get better at and grow was kind of this coach's wheelhouse. So that's kind of how I aligned with it. The other thing too, this guy's a national level coach that actually had a really pretty reasonable rate that I could kind of test out and find out if it was the right fit.
Yep.
He was willing to do a free coaching session with no cost. So, I would push coaches a little bit on that to make sure it's a fit, because it needs to be a fit on both sides.
Yeah, you keep going really nicely, naturally into the next question that I have. So thank you for that, Joe. I'm going to share my coaching story really quick, and then we're going to go into hiring them. Mm-hmm. So again, digital marketing, I keep bringing it up. I love digital marketing. Like we're going to have to do a whole segment on digital marketing another time.
But I'll just be quiet.
Yeah, that's something that I identified as an area for improvement and personal development, and another area of expertise that I could have, but I needed to know how to do it, because the real estate industry for decades has been behind the 8 ball on business and marketing practices. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to really learn how to level up in that area so that I could make impact where I'm at. And so I specifically sought out a coach that was not in the real estate sphere. I needed fresh ideas that I could parallel and then put into what I was doing in real estate. So I went outside of real estate, and what I did was I joined, actually, it's interesting because as we're on this, his wife just private messaged me. So that's funny. But anyways, I joined his Facebook group first. I joined a whole bunch of Facebook groups, like all on the same day. And his is the one that I stuck with for the longest. And it was a free Facebook group. I think that's nice, just like you said, and we'll talk about it in a second, to be introduced with some sort of like non-committal way of testing out what they're giving. And so I stayed in that Facebook group quiet for 6 months, not saying a darn thing, but just observing everything and then testing out a couple of the things that they had said. And then I moved to the next step, which was a prepackaged course that I just went through on Kajabi. And then the next one was group coaching. And then the next level is individual coaching. And so I kind of went through his value ladder to make sure that it was a good fit at all those different thresholds before I made the decision to move forward with him. So let's talk a little bit about, the onboarding process of the coach. You've identified the coach that you want to work with. How do you interview them and or onboard them as your coach?
I think you interview them like you interview anybody else. You find out, I think you identify what your objectives are, and you ask them and find out how they're going to help you achieve those objectives. And you find out if it's a match. I mean, somebody who is a digital marketing coach, you probably don't want to help, is probably not the right fit for someone to help you grow your sphere of influence, in a traditional manner. Right. So you need to find out what the right specialty is, ask some questions. And I would push hard and say, okay, I think I want to go with you. Would you do a 30-minute free coaching session with me so that I get a little bit of an idea of what our styles are, so that when we match and we're not wasting each other's time? Yeah. Most coaches that I know of will do that.
Yep. Most coaches that I know will do that too. What I would say is pay attention to the questions that they're asking you. Are they digging deep enough to identify what your intrinsic motivation is? Are they digging deep enough into your why that they're going to leverage that when you decide to overthink something and not do what you needed to do that week? Because you're moving towards or away from something when you're getting coaching. And if they don't dig deep enough to the foundation to find out what it is, you're not going to achieve the results with them because they haven't found out what your core motivating factor is. Mm-hmm. So pay attention to the questions that they're asking you in the interview as well, not just a prepackaged Like I did the prepackaged course because it was a very specific task that I wanted to learn to achieve first. But when it got more into the group and the individual coaching, it was very specific on what's my why, how do I work best, do I want to accomplish, and what's my big audacious goal? Like, what is the thing that I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then how do we move towards that?
Look for style as well. I think, there are some coaches out there that if you don't hit your goals and they call, say you do every other week coaching, and if you don't hit your goals, they just hang up on you. So you're paying $2,000 a month to some of the biggest coaches out there for them to just hang up on you. Hey guys, you can give me $1,000 and I'll do that. Okay. To me, that's not very effective coaching, because if you dig down a little deeper, there's probably a why. And so make sure that there's a style fit with what you want to do as well.
Yeah. So I read a really good book. I wonder if it's still here. It is not. The Four Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin, who I do not like Gretchen Rubin's voice, just so everybody knows. Like I listen to books. I say I read books, but really I listen because we're in the car so often that I'm like, I'm going to get a university level education. I have my bachelor's degree, but it doesn't matter. In the car, because we're in the car so much. So I rented this book, The Four Tendencies, and it's how do we respond to expectations put on us? And so I personally am a rebel. I'm sure you would not have expected that from me at all. But as this rebel tendency type, if somebody hangs up on me or nags me additionally, or is so forceful with me to accomplish my goal that they do those kind of things, that's their style, I will naturally disengage to the point where I'll just start going and doing whatever I want to do, because I'm not going to deal with this nonsense. That's not my style. However, if you dig deep enough into me to determine what that motivation is, and you're constantly pulling me back to, I know you're a rebel, but we need to do these things over here because this gets you to your ultimate goal, that's a totally different thing. Now there's the upholder, which I think is also very interesting. I'm getting really far into the weeds now. They have tendencies where if you set the tasks, like you create an entire syllabus of exactly what you're going to accomplish, and they know they need to check in with you, they're going to accomplish them on their own because those are the tasks you set in place. They just needed a roadmap to get there. And then there's the questioner who's going to question you and question you and question you. We know these types of people, and they're going to question you and question you until you give them a good enough reason to do it. And then the last one is, I can't remember what the U word for it is, but basically a people pleaser. Like they want to please you. And so if they know they have to check in with you every week, they're going to make sure they get that done because they don't want to let you down. And so you have to identify which person you are in these tendencies to identify which coaching style is going to be best suited to you. Because I'll tell you what, going to the gym with my husband, no, he is a nagger. And I'm like, I don't want to be nagged. I don't want to be.
You need to do one more set.
I know. Seriously, he's like, why can't you do this? And I'm like, leave me alone. It's a mess. I'm an absolute mess. But I don't want to be nagged. In fact, I will start resenting somebody that nags me to accomplish something.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I identified 4 different managers that I have with those 4 different personalities.
I bet you did. 4 different
styles.
Well, I already told you which one I was.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I already knew.
Yeah. Which one do you identify with?
I don't know. It's a good question. What do you think?
I think the upholder. I think you set a specific set of tasks and you're like, okay, I'm going to do these because you've set them.
Yeah, I would agree. I think a little bit on the rebel side too, probably.
Probably. You read that book. What was it? Rebel Leadership? What was the name of that book?
It might have been what it was called. I don't know that I've actually finished it. I do that with books sometimes. I extract information and then I'm like, I'm done with it.
I've got it. I'm good. That's fair. So a book is very often written. We are getting real far into the weeds, guys. A book is very often written as a paragraph. The first part of the book, the first chapter or 2, they're going to tell you what they're going to write about, and they'll give you the big themes. And then the middle of it, they expound on the themes. And then the end of it, they tell you what they told you. So even like I found, if I don't have enough time for sitting down and reading a book, if you read the first chapters and the last chapters, you're going to get the bulk of the information anyway. So that's my thoughts about that. Okay. You've got your coach, you're accomplishing your goals, you're getting the stuff done, you've reached your next level. Da, 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 da. Do you continue with the coach? Do you fire the coach? Do you move on? How do you handle this transition?
I think you You evaluate where you're at. If you can get more from that coach, if you think you can continue to grow, then you stay with that coach for a little bit longer. If
Yep.
you've plateaued with that coach's expertise and he's helped you or she's helped you get to where you want to be, then you consider the next step. And the next step could be a course. The next step could be a coach in a different sphere, a different lane. I think you have to evaluate that of where you want to go. It's also okay to get where you want to with a coach and say, you know what, for the next 6 months, I'm going to apply this. I'm going to see what I can do on my own. All of those are fine.
Yep. You answered exactly how I would have answered. Evaluate it when you get there. Discuss it with them. Also think about it. Be mindful about it by yourself, because I think two things. A really good coach will push you to achieve the goals that you want, but should also give you the space to make the business decisions that you need to make. If they're crying on the phone with you that you're leaving them for 6 months to apply this, that's not the right coach. I'm just going to say this. So I have had those conversations with an agent after that call where legitimately the coach was crying that they were making the wrong decision for themselves. And I'm like, that's a really weird shame-based tactic that I would never do.
A coach and it is part of the team, right?
Yeah.
To use this kind of sports analogy. And so if, it should be a group decision, and they should be a coach, a broker, a manager. In the end, they should want what's best for you.
Yeah.
That is what they should want. What can I do to help you do best? All the way down the line, that if somebody stops coaching because they think they can do something better somewhere else, or if they go to another brokerage because they think they can do better, if you are a really, really solid manager and you've done everything you could do for that agent, you should be okay with that.
Yep. I agree. The other thing, evaluate yourself in the coaching process. Like when you're going through the coaching, are you doing what you need to do? Are you engaging as much as you need to do? Or are you kind of half doing it? Because if you're half doing it, it's either not a fit or there's something going on with your why. Right. That hasn't been identified yet. So evaluate yourself in this process as well. But I think you're absolutely right. You can level up. You can go up their value ladder. You can apply those things yourself. You can move on from them. It really needs to be your decision and a business decision in that moment, not an emotional decision. Mm-hmm. I would make it very strategic and very business based, but spend time with yourself. All right, let's see about some questions. While I'm looking up questions, I just want to thank all of you. I told Joe before we got on, and he knew this from yesterday, I have not been feeling very well. So I know there's probably a little bit of stuffiness with my voice, definitely with my face, but I don't know. I have decided I'm not going to have the flu. Like, that's what I've decided. I'm not going to have the flu.
Mind over matter.
Yes, that's right. Have you guys, maybe you have, Joe, seen that? These guys are awesome. All of them are identifying as rebels. Do you guys have any specific questions that we can answer for you regarding coaching? I am very happy to help. Terry says she'd hang up on us for $500 a month. There's a Gary Vee clip where he's like, I just decided I wasn't going to get sick, and so I haven't been sick since then. And it's been like 20 years. And
yeah, I mean, Gary, I love Gary Vee, but if you listen to him long enough, he'll tell you, you'll start to think he's part superhero.
He is part superhero. Are you saying he's not part superhero? Is that what I'm hearing right now? I mean,
he might be, like Ant-Man.
Yes, like Ant-Man. That's amazing. All right, guys, I don't see any questions. If you have any specific questions, please feel free to tag us below. I think a coach is a wonderful thing for your business plan as long as you're ready to be coached.
One last thing I would say about it is coaching is typically 6 months to a year. Yeah. So don't say, oh, I can afford a couple $100 a month, but not for 2 months or 3 months. So just like anything that you do in your business, make sure you have the budget to do it for 6 months to a year.
Yep. Absolutely agree. Great final thoughts. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this episode of the Backed Up Brokers. Up brokers. I don't know. We don't know. We'll see what happens.
We've established there's no hyphen.
All right. Well, we'll see if I change my idea on that later. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got. Joe, have a great rest of your day.
Have a good Friday, everybody.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye.